not indeed Namshar. And yeah, we're going to be getting right into the first match of the second day of HomeStory Cup. And it will be ShowTimE against Namshar. And speaking of him, spawning in the top left, the wall of Germany, it is ShowTimE.
And his opponent playing in the opposite corner, starting off in game number 1 here on King's Cove, we have a Namshar. A very standard macro-focused map, nothing too crazy here. I mean, you could technically go for like a proxy hatchery or something along those lines, but usually a pretty standard macro.
Yeah.
Pretty cool first map actually between these two, I think. It's gonna probably be more of like a, at least I would assume, a more macro-focused game.
It's one of those maps that's been around for a while now, and it really does promote a lot of macro-focused play. Like, 2 base all-ins from a Protoss, it's so big, there's only 2 ways into the Zerg bases. One thing you do tend to see from a lot of Protoss against Zerg on this map is multi-pronged initial harass. Getting to the 3rd base or the natural or the main, they're pretty far away. Getting the creep spread early on is a bit difficult. And Oracle's sneaking by, like, the open edges around the map, and the fact that the mineral lines are so exposed also at the edges means that Oracles can deal a lot of damage, and also sneaking in at depths with the Warp Prism and stuff can be quite tricky.
Yeah, I think it's very likely we're gonna see ShowTimE play exactly that Oracle, like go up to 3 Oracles with the Phoenix and try to sneak around the edges. And yeah, I'm not expecting anything too special out of him, even though he might throw out some kind of crazy proxy, but doesn't seem to be the case with the probe still at the Zerg natural as well.
I'm kind of like, I'm no Zerg versus Protoss expert, but I'm kind of liking this initial wall by ShowTimE. Because if like he was to play against a 12 pull or something, going for this like early scout and such, it just seems quite nice, right? Like avoiding that gap, or do you look at this as a Zerg player and think like, wow, that's kind of exposed and vulnerable?
Well, I'm not quite sure about this wall. The thing with this wall is that you're kind of getting both of the, you're getting the gate. If you're, for example, if you've got 12 pull, you're really much guaranteed killing the gate and Cypher, right? Since the Zealot has to go the other way around.
Okay.
That's kind of what the gap gives you. You can always come out, you with 2 Zealots, you can always come out and poke, go back to the...
So you feel that this is kind of bad against 12 pull?
Well, I'm not sure because I haven't really played the scenario. I think it might be worse, like if you go like 8-link 12 pull or something. But I mean, otherwise I kind of like this wall, like in a normal macro game, since this limits the ways the link can come in, and he can just like patrol the adapter, and you can't really scout with the link now.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched a ton of Namshar games recently. I know that he did like Hydra Lurker for a long time. And this kind of wall says to me, like, it's going to be very easy to get Lurkers at the bottom of that wall and kind of like punish it without being able to get flanked properly. By the way, throughout this series, I'm just going to be picking your brain as to what you're thinking, because, you know, who else can I learn ZVP from the best? Yeah,
well, on this map, if you play Lurkers, you're normally killing the rocks yourself anyways and trying to hit up that ramp, so I don't think that's not necessarily the problem.
And he is going for a Phoenix and an Oracle. So the Phoenix first to kind of deal with the Overlords around his base. The Oracle follow-up will be the weapon of choice. Now the Phoenix is often used to pick up the Queen, so that doesn't damage the Oracle, just so the Oracle can go even more ham. How do you feel about Overlord speed when you've already got the Scout off, by the way?
Well, I mean, it's at least like he had the second OV on the map already, so he's gonna save that. This was also... No, he actually made link speed. I didn't notice. I thought he went without link speed. But I kind of like just keeping the overall speed since you already mined the gas.
Okay.
And all you're getting is back is really... Like the only time I would cancel extra overall speed is if I got the link in and then got the scout. But in this case, I wouldn't really cancel it since I'm already losing the first OV anyways.
Right.
And then I just get away with the second one.
Because I was casting the games with you in Stats yesterday, and Drogo was very adamant about like, oh, Overlord speed, I always feel the Zerg is significantly weaker to my double adepts and also the Oracle follow-up if I go multiple Oracles and such. So I find it always interesting to see both sides of the coin, you know?
Yeah. Well, obviously it limits stuff a bit, but it's not the cheapest upgrade. I mean, it's pretty cheap, but it still limits the economy since the whole last year we were playing without OV speed and being completely fine against Stargate, so it's not ideal, but...
So 3 drone kills for the 2 adepts. Now, that was a little bit of lost mining time as well. I think that's kind of like a trade that's kind of acceptable on both sides. Obviously, ShowTimE wanted to keep the adepts alive because it would make this kind of attack even more annoying, and Namshar does have 1 Queen in position, but this is quite a few Oracles, and that Spore Crawl doesn't deal enough damage, and the pull away is decent. Nice move in with a healthy Oracle. Doesn't take too much hull damage.
Yep, and it's a 3 Oracle build. That's pretty common on this map and Thunderbolt, for example, since it's pretty safe and you can get a lot of damage done.
So how do you feel about going +1 melee over +1 missile? Because most people obviously do still like going missile if you want to go into like the Hydra Roach mid game. Do you think this is going to be more like a Roach Link Bane timing attack or something along those lines?
I think it's just going to be Hydra Link Bane since he didn't make a Roach Warren. He's just going to get to Hydra them probably around now and just play. I think he's going to try to get a fast hive. Normally when you play Hydra Link Bane nowadays, you always play for a fast hive. So yeah, I think he's just trying to get into late game. I'm not really the biggest fan of the +1 melee builds quite far myself, since in the current we have having a lot of attacks and that kind of stuff with like 4 gases like Charged, Immortal, Archon, and I think Roaches are too superior against that.
I really like this kind of attack, by the way, by ShowTime, because these Adepts, they one-shot the drones, and he can just pick them up, so 4 drones are killed. Now, ShowTime overall has killed something like 15 drones this game, which actually is pretty darn good to say how much he's lost. Yes, he's lost a single Oracle and such, but again, this damage isn't going to stop anytime soon. Oh, that was a nice 4-crawler make. But the thing is, ShowTime behind this, and he even kills it there. So ShowTime behind all of this, by the way, isn't all in by any means. He's actually got a pretty equal work account to the Zerg. He's got upgrades on the way, Mortals on the way. He's just getting a pretty stocky army. I won't be surprised if he starts Storm very, very soon.
Yeah.
Everything seems to be going very good for ShowTime. And I mean, Namshar, he's by no means dead, but ShowTime's doing a lot of things very correct.
Yeah, I think ShowTime's playing it very well. I think he's liking his position a lot. And he's probably just gonna get Storm very soon. Actually, he might do some kind of like 3-2 Archon move out, since he's not getting the Storm, but I mean, it's still the same.
Maybe he's just, I mean, yeah, he could absolutely warp in like 4 High Templars right now.
Yeah, right now people are liking to get the Storm a bit later sometimes. They kind of like do a 1 move out before, maybe punish if Zerg overthrown type went a bit too greedy and then get the Storm afterwards.
So in Namshar's position, what is his main goal right now? Just to like solidify his economy and just make sure he doesn't take too much damage from this point on, or what's his real short-term goal?
I think his goal.
The Baneling.
I think his goal is to get to around 80 drones now with 8 gases, get the hive going. There is the hive, and get the spire, and then just try to stay alive until Brood Lords pretty much. That's gonna be the goal, I think.
And it feels like ShowTime, like you said, even though he's getting a 4th base and stuff, he is delaying. Now, is this just to scare the Zerg move out to stop the droning so heavily, or just limiting creep entirely?
Oh, this one is going to go up, though. That's going to hurt.
Ooh, that is dicey.
Yeah,
like 12 drones on idle.
The Oracles are very good at this in the mid-game
as well, right?
situation.
You can't reach him there.
Yeah.
Not until the Corruptors are out, I guess, which is going to be maybe another minute or 2 from now.
These Hydras are in a nice position for this Warp Prism. The Warp Prism flying through anyway, and wow, that's actually a big loss, because that Warp Prism is meant to buy a lot of time in distracting
Was that
the
3
Zerg.
Zealots? I think so, right?
Yeah.
It sounded like Zealots dying in a prism.
I didn't hear anything.
But yeah, that's definitely going to buy Namshar a bit of relief, a bit of time there to know that he's a bit more safe than he would be normally. And by the way, 3 cannons going up for ShowTime. Okay, I didn't know whether these were per base, thinking maybe Muta, but no, all at the front here. So he's playing very calm, calculated, just building up, getting the Storm upgrades.
Yep.
And he already has a Stargate on the field, so producing a Fleet Beacon and a Stargate, if Broodlords do become a threat, it's a much easier tech path for him to go to.
So I haven't seen a lot of super late game Zerg versus Protoss lately. It seems like a lot of the games right now seem to end around, you know, either like a Nidus push or just straight up Roach Hydra or something along those lines, right? How do you feel about like super late game Zerg versus Protoss right now? Do you think it's gotten harder or easier with like the carrier changes?
Easier for sure. I mean, the thing with late game is that after you start getting like 30 Vestrals, it's close to impossible for Protoss. But before we actually get to that point, it's very doable. With like, you can either play, normally like people tend to play more Tempest nowadays, just have like 6 Tempest constantly going in and just kind of limiting the Infestor movement with Storms.
I tell you what though, this is a lot of chaos going on over the map. So the 4th base of ShowTime was attacked. 8 probes do fall for just a handful of links, but they also force the warp-ins at home. And while this is going on, the Greatest Fire is on the way. Corruptors are being produced. And he has a decent Hydraling Bane army. I mean, ShowTime's army is definitely scary, getting Tempests already and Mothership. I really like the way ShowTime's handling this game.
Yeah, But now the thing is that we're actually getting to the late game point. I think Namshar's already pretty much sure he's like if Namshar starts getting spores now, he can play a lot of time with them against the Tempest, since Tempest can't really go in the spore range anyways. So
Killing the infestation pit right there seems so strange, right? Like that doesn't really achieve that much. It's a
So
little bit early to go up to infestors right now.
Like anytime you can limit infestor production in any way, shape, or form, you kind of go for it. So, I mean, what were those zealots really going to do against the army? Kill a few lings or get the infestation pit? So I kind of like the choice. The thing is, without infestors on the field, Broodlord armies are not indestructible at all. Like, you do rely a lot on the infested Terrans just to keep the and fungals to keep the Protoss at bay. Now, Namshar is trying to secure this 5th, and his creep spread's fairly decent. The thing is, ShowTime's done a really good job of just like cutting that creep dead around the map and just kind of feeling safe enough to patrol around the middle of the map, which is pretty difficult to know when you can get away with it. Now, these oracles are still in the back of the base, and where is this warp prism? Or is it... Okay, it's warp prism in the back of the base.
yeah, Namshar for sure would like to kill that, and after he gets rid of that, he would want to have one corruptor on each side of the on the top of his natural and the left side of his third base, just to spot for prisms and kill if anyone comes in.
So you just put those on idle? You just put like one...
Yeah, just patrolling. Yeah, that's very good, since the war prism is pretty much a win condition at this point. If you get one in and like 12 zealots, it actually gets very tricky. And you also want to be active with your Hydra Bane after you start getting enough Vestors.
How do you feel about the spine crawlers instead of the spores? I think that's a good decision at this point.
I'd like to get the spores. I mean, he needs the spores super badly here, but the spines are also very good for the run by. I mean, I think that after he should for sure make the spores first, because now he might be in a bit of a trouble with the Tempest push coming.
Okay, so Serral's moving, I mean, rather, ShowTime's moving back a little bit here, and he does have the Tempest now, which are totally revealed. Namshar knows what he's up against. He's getting good upgrades too, like +3 ground weapons on the way, +2 air weapons on the way, Warp Prism. Does he have a 5th? He does have a 5th base behind all this too, and like ShowTime's army doesn't really get much better than this, given that he's maxed out. But Namshar, this is when he can start buying the infestors, and you see he's actually got the pathogen glands upgrade finishing as the 5 infestors pump out. So he will have energy, but is ShowTime going to give him the time of day here?
Yeah, I think he's a bit too late with the Vestors, and part of that is just losing the infestation pit actually there early on. So now he's gonna kinda start bleeding out stuff, and he isn't even maxed out. So this is far from ideal.
Yeah, and I mean, he's trying to get a counterattack damage done over here, which is kind of nice. I mean, those Lings might be able to do something, but these Storms and the Hydras, there isn't anything to stop the Protoss from running away or forcing him to engage at all.
Yeah, and we are down to 2 Broodlords only now. I think if the Tempest is so good at sniping them down that this is actually looking pretty tricky right now.
And look at the supplies as well. Almost 200 supply for Namshar, or rather ShowTime. And Namshar, he's really bleeding out. Really nice fungals. The Tempests are all vulnerable now against these Hydralisks.
Though, they just simply walk forward, and now big storms right there, as well as the time warp, and that is going to be a very difficult push to hold. ShowTime is playing this so calm and collected, by the way. He's not really taking any unnecessary risk. I mean, maybe he's overextending right now, but up to this point.
I feel that Storm did more damage to his Immortals than it did to the Zerg, but hey, I mean, Namshar survived, which is what he wanted to do, and the thing is, all his infestors are absolutely empty right now, which kind of sucks for him.
He actually ran a whole lot of them forward. That hurts a lot.
Yeah.
So here, like, run-bys are doing damage. The thing is, ShowTime's so rich behind this. Like, even though the run-bys, like, Namshar has been attempting them, they haven't really done that much, and now Carrier's in production too. Like, Namshar's been struggling to deal with what ShowTime's had, never mind what he's making.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about the carrier choice here, since they're gonna take a while before he actually gets a nice amount of them. So I think he's going for like just 5 more Tempests there and going again.
That's what you'd be most scared of.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it doesn't look too good anyway, since the supplies are pretty bad. His Protoss is gonna die to this push, but
I feel this is one of those situations where you can make kind of anything, right?
I only go Stalkers and be fine, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like this is a hell of a lot of ShowTime. Yeah. The Corruptors are dancing with the Interceptors in the air as well, and this is a lot of Archons, High Templars, a couple of Carriers, the Mothership, and he's just kind of marching through Namshar. And look, these Infestors, absolutely useless without the energy. The Broodlords are gotten on top of as well. Storm's going down, and this looks like the beginning of the end for Namshar. And ShowTime even morphing Archons in the face of his opponent. GG takes the first game of the series.
Yeah. Super clean game there, though, by ShowTime, right? Like, I mean, he may have overextended with his first push a little bit with that big mothership push, but other than that, it was pretty much as clean as it could be.
Yeah, it was a very good game by ShowTime. I think Namshar obviously lost a bunch in the early game, but I think his biggest mistake in the mid game was that he was staying on like 72 drones a lot of the time, 74 drones, when you never really want to dip below 80. And he kind of just never, he really never was even maxed out that game. So that was just kind of the problem. Also, the investors were a bit too late.
So do you want to maintain 80 drones at that point as well? Do you, generally speaking, like even when you start making the static defense and all that, do you still want to go back up to 80 drones? If you
like after you get 8 Broodlords, you really want to, you can even go to 90 drones. You really don't need too much ground army at that point anymore. You just want to get a lot of bank, get a lot of sports, and just start making the investor count, or getting the investor count up, and just defend, get some time with the spores, and just try to get a good investor count, and then just after you start getting enough money to start making spines, you can move across with your Hydra Pain stuff, and you can do harass damage, and yeah.
Yeah, do you think that would have been smart as well? Because he did some counterattacks with Zerglings and then a few Banelings in there as well. Do you think he should have maybe sent, I don't know, 10 Hydras with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem was that he never, like I said, he never really got the money to get to enough spines to actually be fine against the Zealots. So he kind of had to have all his, like the ground force back home. So yeah, honestly, I just think that game was completely based on the low drone count and early game. But obviously ShowTime played it very well.
Yeah, I liked the 2-punch kind of effect from ShowTime as well. I mean, the Phoenix and 3 Oracles did damage. The initial 2 Adepts, yeah, they killed 3 drones and such, but I liked the Warp Prism follow-up with the double Adept as well. I think that kind of stuff, especially on King's Cove, given that there is that exposed mineral line, is very, very good on the map. You shade in, kill a few drones, pick up the Warp Prism, and nothing's lost every time. It's very, very efficient harass. So ShowTime definitely showcased a very good way of just making the Zerg's life difficult early on.
Look at those map introductions. I like it. Never actually seen these before. That's awesome.
Is this Acropolis?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
That's like a base trade TV without the music.
It is. He's trade without the music. Step it up, HomeStory.
Dude, that is very cool, though. That's awesome. Alrighty, so here we go. Game number 2. Spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner of Acropolis. Currently 1-0 ahead. We have ShowTime.
I want to hear a bit of a Cyril intro on Namshar here.
Okay. In the top left corner, it's the Swedish mastermind, Namshar.
Oh, good addition, good addition.
Yo.
I think he'd like that too, hearing it from you, you know.
Oh, it's a...
Oh,
no.
proxy hatch? No?
Yeah, it has to be a proxy hatch.
I mean, otherwise it makes no sense, right?
Just the hatch, like blocking the hatch?
Yeah, this is 3 hats before pool, so if you actually get the hats down, you're always ahead. But most of the times you don't get it down, since Protoss normally send the drone probe a bit fast. Yeah, the probe comes a bit too fast.
Yeah, you saw Dark doing this. Wow.
That's a bit of a mistake though by ShowTime. I don't think he expected to get hit. Like, he also didn't put his probe on hold position because how often do you expect?
I think he just sent it there. He had the rally point there, and then he didn't realize there was a drone, and it's just a drone. Give it the love tap, and it went away.
This is what Dark was doing a lot, right? Especially in the GSL Code S recently. Like, he was going hatch blocks almost like half the games.
Yeah.
You think this is like a good opener?
Well, the thing, like, this game, it shouldn't have worked. And it's like the...
Should never really happen, I guess, what you're saying.
Well, I mean, if you make your second hatch traitor, it's always going to work. But then it's like, it's not that good anymore, and you're not really ahead, you're actually behind, but you kind of get the game control that way, because you can kind of choose the pace. But this version, if you get the hats down, you are going to be ahead. I think, at least. I'm not an expert. Maybe I fly next time, but... but yeah, I think you should be ahead if you get the hats down. But normally pros players send the probe a bit too fast down. I mean, like, how would I say? They send it faster than they actually need for the Nexus.
Too early.
Yeah, so this actually can't happen. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not too big of a fan of the hats block builds in general, but I think they're good tournament builds to mix it up and get into the opponent's head.
I think that's very nice that you say that, because, you know, very often when you talk about preparing for a game and stuff, you never prepare to get hatch blocked, right? So you throw the Protoss into a world that he's not necessarily game for, but this is nice micro by ShowTimE. This Adept will start regenerating shield as well. And I like the fact that he focuses it also with the Queen to stop that regen and such.
Yeah, this should not have happened, though. I guess a lot of damage here. A ton of lost mining time as well.
Oh, you say shouldn't have happened, but that Adept almost did die. Will it?
Well, oh my God, it's a probe all over again.
Yeah, that's very good for ShowTimE, but that's partly again because he did go for a 3 hats before pool, so the pool and gas is super late. He also, the link speed's gonna be very late, so he can actually move in with the Adepts.
Wow. Yeah, but this is so much damage, though.
I think it's fine if he doesn't lose any more stuff.
Ooh.
I mean, it's not ideal, but it's not game over.
So there's yeah, I was gonna say, there's a Stargate already done. Oracle is coming up right now. He started up a couple spores just to save the drones there, but he does need to start some of them. Okay, defensively, I was gonna say.
Yeah, you could keep them up, and I think you should. There, if you actually saw it, I'm not sure if he actually scouted the Stargate. He probably didn't scout anything. So if you would have seen the Stargate, he would have just probably kept the spores alive, since canceling them and making them 20 seconds later isn't really a good move.
The more I'm thinking about the hatch block build, like this is a much larger map, so the counter-attack potential, like that Zealot and Adept definitely arrived later on this map than it would do another map. So after thinking about it, I do kind of like the move by Namshar. But right now, 38 probes against 35 drones. Obviously, the Zerg is droning up like he should be doing. And after seeing the Stargate and stuff, like, how do you feel if you totally talk about this position from here on out? Is this just even now?
I like it more for ShowTimE, but it's not too bad.
Not too bad. And that's a nice pull away on the drones, by the way. Like, a lot of Zergs aren't quite quick enough as soon as you see the Oracle to pull the drones away. But that was a very nice reaction by Namshar thus far.
All right, so last game we went for like a 3.5 minute or so Evo Chamber. This time around it's gonna be that, well, I guess about 5 minutes.
I think he's making the gases a bit too fast since he's so low on drones. So it's really he's trying to get the mineral count going and more drones before he actually adds the gases. Also, the layer could have been a bit slower in my opinion, but...
So do you judge your timings by the amount of drones you have in your natural, or do you just mouse over like the thing in the top right in the corner to see exactly how many?
The normal layer timing is against Stargates around 4:30 for me, but obviously if the game is a bit tricky, you need to think about it, like how many drones you have and that kind of stuff.
You've seen that spot in the top left, by the way, right, where the Oracles just were? You can't actually see a unit when they go inside that building at the top.
What?
What?
When the Oracles go inside that building, air units in general, you can't see the unit anymore. It doesn't
Seriously?
appear. Yeah. It's actually really, really cool. But Namshar did a good job there of killing the probe at the third base. And also he kept pulling his drones away before the Oracles even arrived, which is very, very good. But now, ShowTimE, he's moving across the map with the Adepts. And this is a pretty scary squad, actually. Like, this can deal a lot of damage.
Back.
Yeah, not a good grab, not a good grab. And he knows that immediately. But he did lose a good 6-7 drone or Zerglings there.
Yeah, so this is what you were talking about earlier, right? Going for the melee upgrade and then delaying the Roach Warren. If he's even going to get a Roach Warren in the first place.
Yeah, this is very good by ShowTimE. He forced the queens all on the front, and there's only one queen in the main, so he just lifts it up and gets... Actually, that wasn't as good.
Down.
I thought he would get him more there and save the Oracle maybe, but that was completely fine.
Spire does start for Namshar as well. It's a large map, and maybe he's kind of like, okay, he's made a lot of Adepts, so maybe the sentries won't be in a full force to like scout me out real quickly. Maybe it's a large map where I can buy time and such. But this is still quite a lot of Lings. Trying to deal damage here, but this feels very, very worthless.
With the +1, I think this wouldn't be a bad move, but right now it's just...
started so late as well.
Yeah.
Normally it'd be done right now, right? If you would have gotten it.
Yeah, it would have been done in like 1 minute ago if it was completely normal timings, but the early game was a bit messed up, so it was a bit delayed.
I'm hoping it goes inside the building again, just so you guys can see.
I've never seen that. So is that like the best Liberator spot ever? Like you can never see.
I mean, technically it does nothing from there, but you know, like when they do go inside the building, it's kind of funny. Oh. Are we going to see? Oh, he's playing with it.
I want to see it, man. I'm going to pay attention to this the rest of the week.
I tell you what, though, there's some real nice harass.
Yeah.
Like, this was nice harass.
I'm kind of thinking Namshar's actually just going to go to mass muta this game. He's actually a bit greedy since Namshar is playing +1 links, so he actually could get a catch there. And then that would be pretty big.
I tell you what, when we're looking at the supplies here, it is kind of scary for the Protoss to be kind of, I mean, he's just caught up a little bit, but 4 Mutalisks are on the way now.
Yeah, supply blocked. Not ideal.
Not ideal. Certainly not. Did he see the Spire? Is that what Mapu just showed us there?
No.
No, he still doesn't know about it.
Does it really matter that much, though, you think, at this point? Like, obviously, you would like to know, but...
It's a big deal for sure.
If you don't have like any preparation in your main base or your natural or no Stargate on the way, oh, I mean, he already has a Stargate, right? But
yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, there's only one cannon. You can kind of just click that down with 9 mutas,
Right.
and you're not going to lose anything. So you kind of need a sealed battery as well to be safe. And obviously, you would like to already resume the Phoenix production. So, there's actually no cannon even. I thought there was one.
Okay.
He's totally unprepared for this.
Wow.
So this could be an absolute bamboozle by Namshar where they just fly into the main and
So where
disrupt
did the
everything.
Mutas go? Are they going to go after the Prism first? Because the Prism is going into the main right now. All of the Zerg army.
Oh, look, see?
Oh, wow, you're right. It goes through the structure?
Yeah. It's actually, like, I don't know if it's
I
a
think
bug or
actually
intended.
bad.
Top 10 things science can't explain right here.
I noticed it a while ago. I hit a Liberator there. It was really fun. But anyhow,
It
like...
hurts a lot, though, yeah. All of the Mutas and the Zerglings and whatnot are... on the
Yeah,
other
he
side
needs
of
to
the map.
keep going with the mutas. He can't come back. Absolutely not.
Ooh, I love the pickup, by the way.
But this is very good. This is very doable now.
Wow, yeah.
And ShowTime immediately starts the Stalker production and such. I wouldn't be surprised if Phoenix start being made, but his gas is really low. Like, trying to warp in units to deal with this. This is already really crazy damage by Namshar. Like, Namshar just swung this whole game around with this. High Templars being pounced on too. There's barely any anti-air.
Yeah, this is actually very bad for ShowTime now suddenly. It was looking so good for a moment, but... Oh, he actually leaves the game.
Wow.
That's slightly...
I like your smile. You're
That's
like,
slightly rage quit in my opinion. I think he was mad with himself not making one cannon in his main. Because even like one cannon, even though you just click it down, it gives you 4 seconds to make Stalkers there.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 seconds to make you Stalkers. Because otherwise you can just click them down, so you kind of need to make them to your natural.
Right.
So I don't really know why he didn't have one cannon there.
It was unfortunate, right? Like, he did send out a few hallucinations, which didn't scout the correct spot. There was, like, no static defense, and I checked when the Muta showed up, he literally had, like, 0 gas.
Yeah.
So it was very tough to try and get anything out, any sort of defense whatsoever. I think he just warped in, like, probably a lot of high Templars is what looked like at the 3rd base. Definitely a bit of a rough loss, but that just shows how important scouting a Spire is in this matchup.
Yeah, that I think you can also see that he's doing a lot of good harassment damage with the Oracles. But instead of doing that, a lot of times they just kind of run around with the Phoenix or fly around with the Phoenix around the edges, and you can get the scout very easily.
Yeah.
This map's a little bit harder for that, though,
He
right?
also
You can
hit
always
Spire
go.
at the 3rd, right? Like, that's also a bit of a strange spot. Like, he checked the main and the natural with the hallucinated Phoenix. But
Well,
not-
strange spots are the best, aren't
Yeah,
they?
exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't normally just you camera hotkey one base and you just pick the drone and you make it
go
somewhere.
anywhere,
You don't really think.
Gotta like
about it
hide an
much.
overlord in the corner and put the Spire there.
Yeah, I mean that's a good move always, but it kind of happens that mid game you need to prepare that before always, because you kind of need
Yeah,
the
you can't put
overlord
down
in
a
the middle.
Spire randomly.
Yeah.
Can't really upgrade that either. Yeah.
And the 3rd map of the series will be New Repugnancy. Now, how do you feel about that with Namshar versus ShowTime?
I think I think it's one of the nicer maps. I don't like the map too. Honestly, I don't like the map pool too much right now. But I think that's one of the nicer maps for CVP, and yeah, I don't mind that map at all for Namshar.
This is one of the maps I've seen a lot of those 2 base pushes, you know, down or like at the top of the 3rd base with that ramp being used.
Yeah, it's not a bad map for that, but not the best either for sure.
Okay.
And that kind of stuff is very bad against OV speed. Well, not very bad, but it's not ideal against OV speed since you kind of see the gate count, you see if he's making a fort and that kind of stuff. So
Get on top of it info-wise.
yeah, and Namshar has been playing that. And he didn't play that game because he went for a hatch block, but he might do it again here. So I'm thinking just a normal Stargate opener, honestly.
No, groovy intros. And
I
yet
love these
again,
cinematics. That's awesome. That's really cool.
I never knew minerals were so beautiful, you know? A little statue of a marine.
Do you play on low graphic settings?
Absolutely not. I'm a medium kind of guy.
Okay, yeah, me too.
I'm a complete mess.
You're a complete mess.
High, low, medium. High, low, medium.
Wait, you
medium,
actually
low,
change
high.
all your settings every time you switch to like an event?
No, I don't. I mean, I just have a
You have like
some on
preset?
high, some on low, some on medium.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have
Any
an
particular
idea.
reason for it? Is just like to spot like cloaked units and stuff?
Looks nice.
It looks it looks nice. Okay.
But yeah, that's the one setting that gives you a better vision on like Stargate units that are producing, for example.
I just love the way that you looked at me. You were just like, you smiled and then you just said, oh, that's great. But anyhow, going into this third map of the series, so 1-1 between ShowTimE and Namshar, and spawning in the bottom left as our blue Protoss, it is ShowTimE.
In the
A bit of a hype one, a bit of a hype one.
Okay, in the top right position, it's the just closed up the last game with the great Muta play. He's Namshar.
Oh,
There you go.
that was good, that was good. I felt hype.
It's a new Sarah quote, guys. I'm a bit of a mess.
I'm a complete mess. I'm waiting for like soundboards to be done with that now, like subscriber sound.
Like your subscriber
I'm a
sound,
complete
yes.
mess.
From the €10 donation onwards, it's
So, like you talked about this being one of the nicer maps for you. Now, is
Well, the more I think about it, I don't like it that much, but it's not. I don't know. It's just kind of plays out very standard, I think.
anything? Is there? So you know how you get certain maps where it's like, okay, this is definitely a possibility and only a possibility on this map, such as like King's Cove having Adepts fly into the third with the Warp Prism available. Is there anything that shines out to you that like, okay, I'm kind of scared about that on this map?
Not really. I think this map is decently easy for pros to defend, like third base, defend fourth base. So I think this is this kind of short map as well. So I kind of think this is a good map where you can do a lot of like fake move outs, that kind of stuff, and just kind of just play a normal macro game while being a bit like aggressive.
So it's gonna be a Twilight into a Robo right here. So a bit of a different opener, not going straight up.
Yeah,
to the
it's
start.
gonna be a DT drop for sure.
It actually does go for Overlord speed over Link speed first, right?
Yeah, that's a better choice. If you went for a link speed against DT drop, it would be I think it would be in a bit of a tricky spot. But now, as long as he sees the DT strike before 325, he's gonna be fine.
And how do you feel about playing against some of these like kind of slightly new variations on DT drop builds? Like I know in Europe for a long time it was 4 DTs like without fail, but a lot of the Koreans have been pulling out like these 3-gate DT builds. Like they get a better economy behind it, a faster third base. Does that scare you or?
Well, I haven't seen too many of I haven't seen too many of the 3 DT builds, but they didn't sound anything too special since I heard that you hit a bit faster, but
Yeah.
not too much faster.
What Lembo was saying, like apparently you can hit with 3 Dark Templar at 410.
No, that's not
That's what he said.
true.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was playing
415,
against
he's
that.
lying.
Oh, okay, 415. Okay, 5 seconds.
Jeez.
I mean, like the fastest like 4
But that's
gate.
still like he's still not gonna have an overseer on time though, right? Against.
But
well,
420 is
yeah,
like Troco Prism comes at 420 with 4.
the Drogo Prism.
Yeah, he goes like gas first and like 0, or he can like do a 0 scout build and stuff. But yeah, I mean like this, is it just 3 gateways right now?
Actually, yeah, it's 3.
So it's the 3 DT build. So
But
normally,
it hits so late.
yeah, it is definitely hitting late. But the thing is, like economically, he didn't cut probes at all behind this.
No overseer yet. There you go. It's a little late though. Like one goes into natural, the other one goes into third.
Yeah, doesn't look too hot in my opinion.
For Namshar, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to get a lot of damage done, and I mean, he needs to. Does he only have 1 overseer as well? Because
Yeah,
otherwise,
you made one.
oh, then this is super.
He's low on
bad.
gas. Like he doesn't have link speed either, right? So he hasn't really been spending.
Wow! Oh no, it is totally undetected by Namshar. I want to see his face as he realizes what's gone on here, because oh my gosh,
There we go.
the butcher of Namshar's base. Namshar unfazed though by the looks of it. The thing is, this single DT, 16 drone kills right here. I mean, the 3 gate build, man.
Could he
3
not
DT
just-
build.
No, but that was you could hit same time with 40. What was the scout timing actually? I don't remember anymore.
He got into the main base of ShowTime at about like.
No, I'm talking about the
35.
Proto Scout timing.
Oh, the Proto Scout.
But yeah, I think the Namshar overall was a bit late. You're supposed to be there at like 325.
Yeah.
And
he
he's
got
there
there
was around like 10 seconds late, like I said. So
Yeah, if he would have started the lair immediately, like 10 seconds earlier, then he probably would have been, then the overshoot would have been done.
I think it's just to mix things up a little bit. You know, like normally the 4 DTs hit all at the same spot. Here you have 1 DT going off on its own. So, I mean, losing him sucks, but if he deals this much damage and then you just babysit the 2 DTs.
Yeah, I think splitting the DTs is a good play to do occasionally, especially if people play like 1 overseer defense.
Right.
But I don't think that three gateways had any matter in this game.
Oh, well, you know, this is what I mean. Like, it's always fun talking to pros of different races because, yeah, I was talking to Drogo about it, and he was talking about like it being very, very decent.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I don't think this showed the quality of
he's
the
trying
build.
so hard. There you go, to splash damage of the Zarkons, 5 drones immediately.
Yeah, like one of the big things that Drogo was saying about it was like it just allows you to not cut probes at all and allows your economy to just be a little bit better. So, I mean, the punch is a little bit worse, but, you know, this game, the punch definitely wasn't worse. Like, ShowTime's in a really, really damn good spot. And Namshar from this point is going to have to cut a lot of corners to try and get back into this game, be it like droning like a madman. I'm not entirely sure what his goal is here.
Yeah, honestly, I would. It's very hopeless in my opinion. I would kind of just like him to see get insta 66 drones and try to get something going for himself after that. Just maybe make a lot of roaches.
Oh,
Well,
Hydralisk then?
So do you think ShowTime is going to follow this up with like a 3-base push? I mean, it's probably a good idea,
For
right?
sure he's gonna do a move out at least,
Yeah.
but I don't think he's gonna all in.
Second Robo on the way, so I think that's a pretty good call by ShowTime, like it's just being more stocky, more solid. Maybe he knows like Namshar's, like, well, I don't know what he scouted exactly, whether he's seen the Hydralisk den, maybe he's thinking about like the possibility of lurkers being his
Yeah,
ace up his sleeve.
actually, it's Namshar just he's making a bunch of Ravagers here. It's kind of making me think he's gonna do some kind of attack, but
Well, he's getting the Hydralisk upgrades as well. It's a bit of a mixed bag what Namshar's going for because, I mean, yeah, he's equal on economy right now, but that's never really a great situation at this point after you like suffered such economic loss.
yep, this is a good move by ShowTime as long as he doesn't commit too much.
Which is exactly what he doesn't do. He's not getting a 4th base behind this, he's just teching up, getting that Storm out, getting more Immortals, and also getting good upgrades. A lot of ShowTime's play makes a lot of good sense, and he's constantly scouting with the hallucinations as well. He's not going to be caught off guard by Namshar. Namshar now trying to take a 4th base. Oh, okay, so this is the trump card of him. Burrowed Roaches.
I think this is a bit of an...
A wild play.
yeah, I think
I mean-
we are completely on the freestyle stage
Yeah.
now.
We're hope grabbing, Cyril. We're
I mean,
hope
he's making
grabbing.
2 Immortals at once, right? Like, even if you get the sickest engagement, Immortals still are pretty good against Roaches.
Well, I think he's just gonna try to like get to the main and natural with the roaches, like 6 roaches each, and then try to get a good fight at the front. And also it's good for getting HP for the roaches, obviously, but that's not too big here.
It's just a really rough game. Like you might be looking at this as a viewer being like, oh, what? Namshar's ahead in supply. Like this army's pretty good. But the thing is, ShowTime's army is so tech good. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't make a lot of stalkers or any of the weak units. Like this is so difficult to take down. Now, if you had Dream Biles and ShowTime happened to just not move, great, you might get a few unit kills, but seriously, this Immortal count is really, really scary.
Yeah, I think what happened this game is that Namshar was kinda hoping for ShowTime to push into his army at some point and just kinda kill that, but that never happened. And now he's kinda doesn't know what exactly to do. Like now he's getting hype, but it's gonna be super late.
This is like
So-
half the Protoss army as well, right? Like,
Yeah. This is actually not a bad fight, is it? Ooh.
got a hard
The thing is, this army's so Ravager heavy without the Roaches, whereas all his Roaches are over here.
You could
I
get
actually
those.
think
Nice.
Namshar can make this work.
You sure? If you can catch these Immortals with the slowest burrowed Roaches in the world.
Is there an observer here on the Remto?
No.
I think ShowTime's good enough to know that they're kind of marching at him though, right? Or whether
No,
he saw them burrow in
he
the first
absolutely
place.
didn't see them.
You think so? You think he was just running away for the sake of it?
Yeah.
There is a
Still-
cannon.
oh.
There we
Are you
go.
sure?
So unlucky.
I mean, this is kind of a nice split attempt by Namshar, but ShowTime at this point, he's also got his army at third base.
Oh my god.
This is a lot of dead Namshar here.
It was a
Good.
nice try, but a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused. I mean, not confused, but I would think ShowTime would kind of like just max out and go for it since Namshar's army is so, like, I don't really see how Namshar is gonna ever win a fight, but the only way it's gonna win some kind of stuff is if you just kind of pile, run away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But if
mean,
you
we
just get
see
A
everything.
moved.
Yeah, we see everything, right? So, like, right now, ShowTime can absolutely march across the map and kill him. And I mean, I feel that Namshar's job here is to act strong, even though he's kind of weak, and just pretend that he can pounce at any point.
Yeah.
So he's going up to hype right now. Do you think that's just for upgrades or?
For Broodlords, most likely. It
He
doesn't
doesn't have Aspire.
It doesn't?
No.
Well, then I don't know.
Like, you're not gonna go Viper, you're not gonna go Ultras.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of just needs to survive.
Oh, wow. That was actually really good. That was really good vials, yeah.
This is actually
Okay,
not bad. And Namshar is known as the Hydra Splitter, so it's absolutely very scary for ShowTime.
The Hydra Splitter, eh?
Yeah. I think so, at least.
But yeah, this is Namshar kind of dancing for his life here. He has a lot of units, but if they fight in a straight-up engagement, he's definitely going to be in a rough spot, and he's doing a good job of just buying time. These Ravagers, launching piles, the Baneling speed, yeah, it is done, so that'd be good against the Zealots and the High Templars and such, but there are so many Immortals in the mix, and these High Templars, they definitely have quite a few Storms on them. But,
Don't want to go upgrade though, right?
oh, the Hydra Splitter, splitting, living up to his name.
I mean, he killed a lot of the High Templars. I can feel, like, ShowTime's feeling is very scared. He's just gonna wait for the Tempest, which is a safe play here.
We can't forget, though, ShowTime does have a superior worker count, and he did establish a fourth base behind all this. This is a big run by that he's got ready as well to kind of launch at Namshar's base.
Zealots on the bottom, yeah.
And this arm, like, the thing for Namshar, he can't really super engage this unless ShowTime is totally not prepared.
One storm though, right? One bad storm.
Oh, those splits.
You weren't kidding. Here go the Zealots though as well.
I mean, this is a really nice run by. Namshar is like pretty decently
he's
prepared
defending
though.
this one.
Yeah, he's moving very, very decently. Going to take out a lot of these Zealots, but the thing is,
Yeah.
Ooh, not sure what that was good for, but
where are the High Templars though? They're gone. They're absolutely gone.
yeah, that was I'm surprised how well the Banes did, but I mean, it was kind of, I don't think it was a cost-efficient trade, and that's kind of what he needs, but at least he gave himself a bit of time.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing here. Like, kept his fourth base alive, and this fifth base also alive, even though like his saturation's not the greatest, given that he's only on 66 drones.
Oh, did you see that Zealot running? Shot it like a half hour.
That Hydra was so attempted to be protected there by the drones around, but you know, to no avail. I mean, like, to say how like broke Namshar's been throughout this game, he's done a damn good job of defending, because those armies were incredibly scary, and I wish we got to see how much those Banelings did against this army. But the thing is, ShowTime again, he's not received any damage to his economy, so he's marching out with, again, a really, really super good army here.
I love the Tempest in his mix as well, right? Because he's going Greater Spire, but like even morphing in Brutes right now is not really necessarily the greatest option. It's a really solid play there, and he's just gonna simply go ahead and give up that base. There's no creep here on the low ground either, so fighting that is gonna be really hard.
Yeah, what I think Namshar would like to do now, well, obviously he needs to survive this still, but he kind of would like to get like 8 Corruptors and kill the Tempest, and then do the Brutal switch. But he really needs to get rid of the Tempest before he does that.
Here's the Storms. Wanted to.
With such a low number of Banelings, the Immortals take them down so easily.
Yeah, the Rampires are really getting him. It's good play by ShowTime to constantly send Zealot there.
And like, this is the thing, right? ShowTime realizes he's got an edge. He's like just trying to kind of wear out his opponent a little bit. And he's not being super impatient by just taking a fight. He's taking a good fight here. And he pulls back a bit after the Storms have landed. And now the next wave of his counterattack can run in. But Namshar, he's had enough. And he's running in with the Banelings, but they did nothing against the wall of Immortals. And the Hydralisks, they are not fit to fight either. ShowTime eked out a massive victory there against Namshar. Well played, ShowTime.
He did split his Hydras really well, though. Like, all kidding aside, he barely ever took a Storm.
I wasn't kidding when I said
yeah,
it was
no,
Hydra
that was
splitter.
actually really good. Like, it's so easy to just get one good Storm on your Hydras, and then it's just game over immediately.
He's also known as the Lurker King.
The Lurker King.